Good afternoon, City Schools teachers, and welcome to our fourth Canvas Teacher Webinar Series session focused on discussions. I am Alana Purvis, and I am joined here with,
Ellie Brown.
let's get into it. So, one of the things you're obviously realizing is that this is a pre-recorded webinar. We heard you, we took your survey data, and we adjusted. Many of you wanted to receive a pre-recorded webinar versus attending after school hours, even if it was right after school. So we listened to that feedback and now we made an adjustment. So hopefully this is better for you all as we head into the holiday break. Our focus question for today is how can Canvas discussions help you facilitate student interactions and academic talk?
We also heard, and we're also seeing as we're visiting schools and talking to teachers, that grades aren't syncing to Infinite Campus and are having some issues around that piece. So before we get into the discussions component, we are going to tackle that pesky grade sync. So I'm going to come out of our slides here and start to show you with a live demo. With assignments, you can either use the district provided assignments or you can create your own assignments. Here I've created an assignment for today for classwork. I added in my assignment questions. That's as far as I got. When you're creating an assignment, you want to make sure that you're adhering to the following things. The first thing you need to look at is the naming convention. Make sure that you're naming your assignments differently each time. One easy way to do this is to add the date at the beginning of the assignment. Another component you need to make sure you're correcting is the points space. So you want to add a point value. That is best practice for students. The biggest piece when assigning or creating assignments is assigning an assignment group based on Infinite Campus grading categories. You want to make sure you're either choosing participation, classwork, assessment summative, or assessment formative. This will let Infinite Campus know the weighted percentages they need to assign when the grades come over from Canvas. Checking your display grade as. Okay. I'll make this just a quick online text entry submission. Now down here, you also need to be sure to click this checkbox here that tells Canvas that this is a grade that's going to sync to Infinite Campus. Make sure you assign a due date and click Save. Okay. Now I can see these details have been submitted here and this assignment is ready to go. When I have, I'm going to come back out. When I have created that assignment and I try to sync to Infinite Campus, right? This will happen automatically at 10 o'clock each night. And when it does, you can click on the Grade Sync tab to ensure that it was successful. Here you can see that 6 assignments went over to Infinite Campus and it was completed with a check mark. If you click on the completed word right here, it will bring you to a screen that looks like this. You have overview, warning and errors, filtered Canvas data, assignment sync, and grade sync. Here I can see that all of those 6 assignments did in fact go successfully to Infinite Campus. Sometimes, however, and what we're seeing and hearing from teachers is that some assignments aren't being synced to Infinite Campus. Here you can see in the Grade Sync tab, we have completed, but there is this red exclamation point. If I click this exclamation point in this completed word, it'll bring me to that same window with the overview, warnings and errors, filter Canvas data, etc. If I click on warnings and errors, I can see where there were 3 assignments that received an error. And they received this error because when the assignment was created, Constitution Writing Prompt 6, it did not have these assignment categories assigned within the assignment. So assessment formative, summative, classwork, and participation. If the teacher goes back into this assignment and fixes this error and gives this assignment a correct category, the grades will sync back to Infinite Campus. Another thing you should know when you're checking the GradeSync tab, if you see something here that says Canvas Integrations Admin, that means that's the automated sync at 10 o'clock each night. But if you click on the Grades tab and manually sync your grades, your name will pop up here in the posted by. So the remainder of these were manually synced by the teacher. This one happened automatically. Right? Keep these in mind when you're assigning grades and you are syncing them to Infinite Campus. All right, I am going to turn it back over to Alana to discuss discussions.
Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, so discussions. I know we focused on discussions at our first look training and also at our training in August before school started. But now that we're almost at the end of semester one, this is a really great time to leverage this tool in Canvas. Discussions are a very flexible tool. You can create ungraded discussions just to provide a space for communication with your students. It can simply be a Q&A. You can create graded discussions to assess student learning while also encouraging them to engage with their peers. In addition, you can customize the settings to fit each discussion's needs. Like, you can require students to submit their own posts before they can see their peer responses, or you can allow students to edit or delete their posts. There's some pros and cons to each of those settings. We're going to go through those in just a second. Some additional ideas for ways you can use discussions is that replies don't have to be text-based. You're going to see that the RCE is present in discussions just like any other tool in Canvas. So students can submit and post images, audio, video submissions, and more. Also, you can add a rubric in discussions for clear student expectations and easy grading. So let me show you how we can create a discussion and go through some of those settings options. All right, so I'm going to go right into my sandbox. I'm going to go into my modules. And I'm going to take the template that's already here. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate that discussion option. It says course Q&A, but I know it's a discussion because I can look at the icon to the left. I'm going to go ahead and edit the name of this discussion. And already as a best practice that Kelly just shared us, I'm going to go ahead and put today's date. And I'm going to call it 12/10 opening discussion. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go into my discussion here. Now, when it comes to editing, this looks a little different than editing in pages or assignments or even in quizzes. In order to edit in discussions, you're going to go over here to the right and click on the skinny snowman. This is going to give us our drop-down options where we can go to our edit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on that edit. And now I see that I am in my discussion space. As I mentioned earlier, you will see that the RCE is here as the main driver for personalizing the content. We have the same tools here that we have in our assignments, our pages to utilize. So you can incorporate different media here. You can link to things. You can add images. Those are all options for you. Okay. So my question is, what is your favorite December activity? I'm going to go ahead and give a note here, respond to the question, and then reply to 2 peers' responses. That's it. All right, when it comes down to the options, there are pros and cons to each. Anonymous discussion is going to be the first thing that you need to think about. Right now, I have it set to off. That means that student names and their pictures are visible for everyone in the course. Okay, this means everything is visible. If I go to partial, that means that students can choose if they want to reveal their name or their picture. And full means that everything is hidden. Okay, for the sake of discussions, for the sake of them replying to other students, and just for safety reasons, I'm going to keep this on off. Okay, there's another option here. Participants must respond to the topic before viewing other replies. I'm going to go ahead and select this for a few reasons. The most important reason is that I want to see what students' responses are without the influence of viewing other peers' responses. This is where they're going to be able to have their most authentic and original thinking and replies. Okay. I do want this to be a graded assignment, so I'm going to go ahead and select graded. I do want to allow liking as well. I think that's a really great feature and it's going to boost some engagement. As far as the view, we can expand, meaning that all of the threads will open up, or we can keep it collapsed so it's a little more clean and less overwhelming. When students come in, I want them to be able to see the newest post first versus the oldest, but any option will work. Points possible. This is also a best practice when you're creating an assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and select 10 points, display grade as points. And I do want to include this with my SIS Infinite Campus. So this is automatically going to sync to Infinite Campus overnight because I've selected this box. For this particular assignment, I don't really need peer reviews, but you can choose to assign them manually. So partnering students up with which discussion post they're replying to, or you can have the system automatically assign. Okay, it's going to be assigned to everyone. Due date available from until. These are all pieces that we've seen before that are also present in the assignments. I'm going to go ahead and save and publish. And now my discussion is ready to go. Always as a best practice and to check, I can view as a student. All right, and that is discussions. I hope that you find that this is a great tool for you to use to encourage student to student academic talk as we head into this holiday season, and also to encourage students to share their thinking with one another, which is a great tool to use. All right, so Canvas training resources. We have our city schools Canvas sites that we created. We will put this link in CickUp. So when you get this recording and the message, you will have a link to this website. In addition, the Canvas First Look and the Canvas First Look Refresher are still on your dashboards. Please revisit these courses whenever you feel the need to revisit a particular tool. You need a little additional support with one element using Canvas. This is a great place to go. So looking ahead, I can't believe our next session is going to be in January, but that's where we are. Our focus for our next session will be how can Canvas Studio help you implement curricular resources to prepare? Lots of exciting things in Studio. I know many of you are already using it based off of the school visits I've been able to see, and we're going to dig into some elements more in January. Here's our attendance code for today. Go ahead and scan if you viewed this video. That way we know who has participated in this webinar. Feel free to complete the feedback survey as well. And feel free to add in something about this pre-recorded webinar versus the live webinar. Which do you prefer and why? Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. As always, if you have any Canvas questions, you can reach out to Kelly or I. Here's our email addresses. Within our emails, you can book a time with us as well. Thanks so much for joining us and happy holidays.
Bye, everyone.